Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be streaming today the Viasat 3 America's mission from SpaceX. This is going to be the Falcon Heavy, which is an awesome vehicle, incredible vehicle that I really like to watch. It is basically 3 Falcon 9s strapped together, and it has a higher payload. The clip from the new intro is Falcon Heavy's landing at the landing zone. I have not looked into Viasat. I don't know if it's going to be fully expendable or they are going to land. But we'll get into that together. Right now, we have SpaceX. So the launch window opens at 7:29 p.m. Eastern Time. So about 17 minutes. And it goes for 57 minutes. So we'll have about an hour of wiggle room. This is the one that got hit by lightning. We'll certainly watch that clip. This is an awesome rocket. This is a proven rocket. And all systems and weather look good for tonight's Falcon Heavy launch of Viasat 3 America's mission. I'm just making sure. So we'll verify go propellant load 53 minutes before launch. And we'll go through this timeline. So let me bring that up. We'll be watching SpaceX's launch coverage. They do not cover it very long, about 15 minutes before. They've gotten it down to a science. No, please do not install Windows Update and restart my computer. That would be bad. Let me bring up a couple more things here that we can watch. NSF is still... They are still upcoming, so they're not live for another 15 minutes. So that will give us time to get into the launch and what this is about. So I'm going to go ahead and say hi to people, and then we'll get into it. We have Impish, and I already pinned the link. So yes, live chat, top chat is for betas. Big giant fuck. It does. It certainly does. What's up, Dazzer? Long time no see. Fiery Red. Good to see you, buddy. Mimi, I don't think you can watch this. It might be an international... there's this thing called ITAR, International Trafficking and Arms Regulation, and might be ITAR secrets. So, just saying. Foreign influence, blah, blah, blah. What's up, Stevie? Good to see you, buddy. And let's check the Brimbles. We have Dazzer1234. Over on the Rumbles. Good to see. Yes, please smash that like button. All right, so we're gonna take a look at a little bit of what this is. So SpaceX aborted this mission a couple times now. So I feel like it's just gonna work this time, right? Isn't that the way it goes? I don't actually know. I don't actually know what the scrub was last night, but and it doesn't say. Hello, Mystic. All right. So over here we have. They don't fly this very often, so you should probably watch this intro. Space.com is a great resource if anybody's looking for space-related news. Let's watch their animation of Starship. So they're launching from LC-39A at Cape Canaveral. As you can see, it has, so that's water deluge. So it's spraying water to suppress sound, those kind of things. So there are 9 rocket engines on each stage. There are 3, or on each booster, there are 3 boosters. They're literally just, and you can't hear me because of the music. So I'll pause it. So each of these are a normal Falcon 9 rocket. So they literally just strap 3 Falcon 9s together. And on top of the Falcon 9, they put the second stage. Merlin engines, they just literally strap 3 together. So there's 27 engines on this. Ultimately, the one we watched the other day. Oh, you could. Usually you can't, so whatever. What's up, Greedy? Good to see you, buddy. So this is one of those things where the rocket we watched the other day, Starship, is designed to replace this. And actually, Starship was designed to replace it pretty quickly. Falcon 9 was going to be their light lift rocket, and Starship was designed to be their heavy lift rocket. In the interim, they needed something for heavy lift or to destinations like Mars. So there's very limited application because a lot of the things are going to low Earth orbit, and the Falcon 9 is more than capable of that. Once you get out distance-wise to places like Mars, for different orbiters or different, satellites to become part of that constellation, you have to have Falcon Heavy. So it's just more thrust, more ability to get things further or heavier payloads into a stable orbit. So none of the boosters will be recovered. So they're not going to land them. So that's what I was wondering. So this is, whatever this payload is very heavy because it's going to be fully expendable. As you can see from the image, these boosters have been used before. So you can definitely see, so you can see the landing legs and all that good stuff. The middles of these are always expendable. Hopefully. Hopefully. So you can see that these have burned up. The paint's gone off them. They don't look that pretty anymore. It's not that important, but these boosters have been used. I don't know the flight history on these boosters, but I would assume that they have a long and distinguished flight history, and this would be dumped into the ocean or dumped into it might burn up reentry. So we'll for sure see what happens there. All right, so Viasat Americas. So this is where we're at. SpaceX launch director verifies go for propellant load. First stage RP1. So RP1, this does not use methane. This uses, yes. This does not use methane like the Starship does. This uses RP1, rocket grade kerosene. So a carbon-based fuel. It's a proven fuel. They used it all the way back to the Saturn V. That was the RP1 and LOX. So, and then at T-minus 45 minutes, we have the first stage LOX load, so liquid oxygen. And that's an oxidizer to help it burn more efficiently and also help it burn in the vacuum of space. So T-minus, there is actually no puffy stuff on this one, Greedy. No puffy stuff because they're using RP1. So RP1's stable at room temperature. So they don't have the puffy stuff. I know. I was disappointed as well. T-minus 35 minutes. We have second stage RP1, rocket grade kerosene loading. T-minus 1830, they start loading the second stage LOX because that is cryo. That's what I'm saying. So let me get on the phone and tell Elon. T-minus 7 minutes. Falcon Heavy begins engine chill. T-minus 59 seconds. Flight computer commanded to begin final pre-launch checks. And there'll be another go, no go poll. And interestingly, this is where they stopped it last night. Is around this minus 59 seconds mark. It was when the go, no go poll was going. Oh, that's really cool. I mean, not cool that what happened to it, but cool that you got the opportunity to clean some of it up. So, T-minus 45 seconds. SpaceX launch director verifies go for launch. T-minus 20. We start pressurizing for flight. T-minus 6 seconds. Engine controller commands engine ignition sequence to start. T-minus 0. Falcon Heavy liftoff. And this is kind of what it will look like. So we'll start at the bottom. So we start with launch. Obviously, pretty self-explanatory. Ascent, pretty self-explanatory. Then these boosters are going to separate, and these boosters will come off. Very shortly thereafter, we have stage sep. So you'll have MECO, main engine cutoff. You'll have stage separation, and then your second engine or your second stage engine will ignite. Then we'll get a little bit higher in our arc. We'll have fairing separation. The fairings actually come back to Earth and are reused most of the time. I don't know if they will be in this instance. And then we have, shortly thereafter, we have payload sep. And then they deploy the satellite. So, and then, so this is T plus times. So T plus 1 minute and 9 seconds. Max Q. So max Q is the maximum aerodynamic stresses on the rocket. So they actually, to reduce that stress and make it so the rocket doesn't have to punch through as much stressors, risking failure, they actually throttle down the engines. They throttle down the Merlins and allow just a little bit of it to be relieved until they get through that point where the velocity and the atmosphere are at their highest concentrations. So that's what it is. So you have the atmosphere that's still thick enough to be effective at causing some kind of issue to the rocket. And then you also have the acceleration or the velocity at a peak. So it's that equilibrium, and it's the highest pressurization, highest mechanical stress on the rocket. So that turns into max Q. Excuse me, sorry. And then T plus 3 minutes and 5 seconds, we should have side booster engine cutoff, BECO. T plus 3 minutes and 8 seconds, side boosters separate. So when we're talking rockets, you're not talking, oh, it's a huge payload. Oh yeah, because that would have been, shit, I forgot what it's called. Oh no, we're just starting. That would have been, I can't think of what they're called. Hang on. My brain is gone. What is that? They would have been chemicals to produce propulsion that wouldn't have required ignition, and I forget what the damn word is, and I apologize. Now it's gonna bother me until I figure it out. So we're gonna Google. Apologies. Hypergolic fuel. I was on the tip of my tongue and I could not find it. So hypergolics are fuels that don't need an ignition source. So when they mix, they immediately combust, and it reduces complexity because you don't need them for ignition. You'll find them in a lot of gas thrusters. You'll find them in certain different thing. That's funny, fire. So it's one of those things where it reduces complexity and makes it easier on many things. So yes, those chemicals are incredibly dangerous. And good thing you didn't get hurt or harmed in any way, because those can end badly. So back to it. We have booster separation. I think I already got there. And then 4 minutes and 13. So T plus 4 minutes 13 seconds. First main engine cutoff, MECO. So when we're talking about these big rockets, so we're talking about all this power, all this fuel. You know, they're just eating up fuel by. I mean, the number's pretty ridiculous. To be accurate for Falcon 9. At full power, so they 850,000 pounds of thrust, and they consume 3,200 pounds of liquid fuel and liquid oxygen per second. What's up, Wild? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Hope you're well. So we're talking about 3,200 pounds of fuel per second. Hey, buddy, what's up? I gotta figure that out for real, because I have no idea why it's so damn loud. Like, Shorts used their template, so I have no control over any of that. But so I do apologize. I gotta figure that out though, because that's not the first time I heard it, and I do apologize for that. So, did you win? At least. I hope you're all right, buddy. So, anyways, back to 3,200 pounds of fuel per second. So massive amounts of fuel per second that they're just eating up. And many people think that these are these long duration flights, like an aircraft where it flies for 2 hours, you know. And that's just not the case. The case is that it's about 3 minutes of flight time. 3 minutes gets you to the outside of Earth. So these engines take an enormous amount of stress for a very short period of time. So the personal items were sobering to find: helmet, spacesuits, fabric, these commemorative Swiss Army knives they took into space. It was weird. Yeah. And that would be hard. That would be incredibly difficult. I would love to, if you're ever okay with it, I'd love to talk to you about it sometime. Just personally, off camera. But yeah, no, that's always really interesting. It's the unfortunate side of space flight. It's dangerous, and especially back in that period of time, like we're doing amazing things, but incredibly dangerous. So it's sobering, and it makes you appreciate more of the people that do this, the astronauts that have the guts to get on a bomb and hope everything goes right. So we just got a update from SpaceX. So, and this is the problem with Windows. Sorry. T-minus 1 hour until Falcon Heavy's launch of Viasat 3, America's mission. Weather is 95% favorable. That's great. For a liftoff at 8:26 p.m. Eastern Time. So we are about 50 minutes out-ish. Oh, that would be fantastic, Dance. Let me get you a link, buddy. Because I wanted to start on time to throw everybody off, so I didn't get time to pee real quick. So you can fill for me for 5 seconds. We can chit-chat. I'll take it off so I don't dox you. All right, buddy. You got it. I always love when content creators join me. It's fun. So anyways, we'll get back to the launch schedule here. So you get the first and second stage separations at about 4 minutes in. And again, like that booster's all used up. Like it's all done. And I guess one of the things that I can certainly get into is, so why fully expendable versus what does that mean? I try and explain the concept so you guys are not just out in left field, like, what the hell is he talking about? Fully expendable. So fully expendable means literally the whole rocket's gone. Like, they're not recovering it. They're not trying to land it. They're just using every boost of power that thing has to get the payload into space. So what's up, V? So fully expendable means literally they're just dumping the rocket. They're going to push every ounce of power that they have out of it, and to hell with the recovering anything. What's up, Vader? And we welcome the one, the only, Spiker Dan. What's up, buddy?
Hey, good to see you, man. Sorry, it took me a while there. This old laptop that I use on the night streams is not very good, but hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I apologize for the the abundance of information when you just wanted to know what the hell the engine was. I apologize.
Yeah, I just noticed that on Twitter. I'm gonna have to read through that. You gave me like the full schematics of the thing.
Yeah,
But
well,
no, that's good. I find that interesting.
it's it's an incredible vehicle. It really was. Um,
It,
so
it
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 deserves
made
it.
me think of a question for you. Something you just mentioned a minute ago. I was just catching up when I realised you were streaming, and that's it. You know the engines and these things like on the Falcons and stuff.
Yeah.
Surely because of the stresses and the temperatures and all that kind of stuff. I was thinking. I know that they keep reusing them, relanding them, reusing them, but there's got to be a certain amount of times before they have to replace them or replace parts. Surely, but just because of the stresses. Um, did you have any idea like how many times they can use them before they have to switch out an engine, for example? Or...
So SpaceX is up to 9 on the boosters. And I think that they actually just hit double digits. It's not common. So let's take, for example, let's take the Saturn V. Like that was never reused. It was gone. Like it was one time. Hope everything works okay, and it was gone. And all the way up until even the shuttle, which was a reusable rocket, uh, a reusable vehicle, I guess. Um, they replaced the the engines every single time. The RS-25s. So Rocketdyne made those as well, same company. And the RS-25s would get replaced every single time. And actually, that takes us into when they cut the shuttle mission short. The reason that they used RS-25s on the Artemis program is because they had, I think, 10 RS-25s left.
Still have a load of spares from the shuttle.
So
makes sense, I
yeah,
guess. Reuse them.
they're old shuttles engines from the 80s that have been in storage, which is probably why it has problems. But
Yeah, it's a bit
um,
like if I have an old motorbike and I just leave it for 10 years or something, or 20 years. It's not gonna run quite as well. I know it's not quite the same thing. I'm just having a laugh.
no, I mean stuff, degrades and breaks down. So especially something that's that critical. Um,
Yeah, entropy, as we've discussed previously. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Stuff doesn't like sitting still. Or me. I don't like sitting still. Um, I wanted to update because there's been a couple comments. Sorry, popping around just a couple different places. I'm sure everybody's used to that. So this is about 6 metric tons, and when it's fully deployed, it will be 144 feet wide. So 144-foot wingspan. And about 6 metric tons. So Viasat is a pretty big thing. It's also going to geostationary orbit. So you have, God, I don't want to get into orbital
Oh,
mechanics.
that's higher up because lower Earth orbit, you're going faster. If you want it to be at the same speed as the Earth, you've got to be higher up, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Did I get that right? Yeah.
yeah, yep. So,
Which takes more energy,
yeah,
and hence why they're using more. Did you say three boosters on this one? Is that right?
yeah.
It's a
So
heavier payload,
Falcon
and it's
Heavy.
going to go up higher. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be 3 boosters, three Falcon 9, 3 normal Falcon 9 strapped together. Is essentially the way it breaks down. So yeah.
Yeah, you stick a load of duct tape around them, strap them together. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. That's
Yeah.
how you do it,
Yeah.
right? You just duct tape. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, so this is a big one. It's going to Geo. No wonder why it's expendable. So about 14,000 pounds, which
Do
is
we know if it's a secret thing, or do we know what the payload is, or is it just like some US government thing that we don't know what it's going to be? Or
it. No, we have information on it. We'll share some information. K-band capacity, launch at Cape Canaveral, trimass, manufactured by Boeing. Weird that they don't have their own rockets that they can put shit up with. Weird.
Don't you have a bit of a beef with Boeing or something? You said.
Oh, I hate Boeing. So we don't got a lot of information about this Boeing satellite. It's another comm satellite. So LEO, low Earth orbit, is very much. LEO is very getting very crowded. So it's much easier to get a parking spot and geostationary or even geosync if you can get out there. But yeah. So it looks like this is a Viasat Americas 3. So that's interesting though. From Viasat's website, it's going to be a high-speed internet satellite service.
Yeah, it's actually the golden eye, from the movie. That's what it really is.
Potentially,
they've got to do some cover story. Oh, it's for the internet. Yeah.
Right. I think it's interesting that SpaceX and Starlink is putting up its competitor. That's Geosync. So I assume that's their constellation. That's one hell of a constellation, though, for that big of satellites. Damn. Like, that's not cheap.
So is this something that's going to work in conjunction with the Starlinks, or did you say it was the other companies rather than Elon stuff?
No, Viasat is a private company, so outside of no affiliation with SpaceX whatsoever. So
okay, this was just paying them to get it up there, basically. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They're just paying for a ride to the edge of space.
He's just being a really expensive Uber or taxi driver.
Absolutely. So we're at T-minus 45 on Viasat. That's consistent with what SpaceX has. So that seems to be kind of where we're at.
Yeah. By the way, I got really lucky with the timing when I was out with my wife at my father-in-law's house doing some stuff when it was the launch of the Super Heavy. Man, that thing was awesome. That was so good to watch.
So incredible.
I think I saw some pictures as well of what the ground underneath it looked like afterwards. It was just such a mess. It was like the power in that thing. I'd love to have been there.
It's incredible power, and I will. Elon says 2 months. I don't believe him. I guess we can bring that up. Although I tried not to get political on this one, but the FAA has shut down the program, Starship program, because they're concerned with the debris and the damage that it caused. I was going to do a short about it, and then I was going to do a regular video about it, and then I didn't.
Do all that stuff. Do it all.
I know,
you don't need sleep, right?
I don't get much of it anymore, but it happens.
Yeah,
so they are they're also taking, so it's a ride share, so Arcturus and G-Space 1, but the main payload is the Viasat 3. So
okay, so they lumped a few things together, but
yeah.
But yeah, I remember what I was going to say now about like how I would have loved to have been there for the noise and the power of it, is because as a young kid I grew up on RAF camps in Germany, and one of the bases was a tornado base. Whenever those tornadoes took off, man, the ground shook. I loved it. When they put full power and they used their afterburners, and I don't know what it is. I think part of it probably from just being around it as a kid, but I just I like to experience that thing of like the overwhelming power and the ground rattling of just the awesomeness of these things that we can build. So that times 1,000 would be the rocket taking off.
Oh
You know what I mean? Yeah.
The last time that sucks. Sorry, I'm scrolling through Twitter, and that's always a bad idea. Shaquille Barrett's daughter, Aria, dies at age 2. He's a Tampa Bay linebacker, Shaq
Damn.
Barrett. That's always rough, man. 14 minutes ago. So, yeah, sorry. I just saw it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care who you are, even if it was somebody who I disagreed with about everything. I would still, obviously, condolences for losing a 2-year-old kid, man.
That's rough. That's...
Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on even on my biggest enemy. That's horrible.
Okay, sorry. I need to stop scrolling Twitter while I'm streaming. It's bad. It's always bad.
Yeah. Yeah. This is supposed to be. This is your thing about rockets. This is your wheelhouse. You should stay away from Twitter.
Well, I was looking for
squirrels, man.
Well, there's a reason behind it. So I was looking at it and blah blah blah. So I was looking at it to watch Elon. So 3 minutes ago we had propellant load RP1. So we're starting to move in that direction. So we are
That makes
53
sense.
minutes.
You're looking to see what Elon's updates are about the launch. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Other than that, stay away from Twitter.
Yeah. So we're about 53 minutes away, somewhere in that time period. So
speaking of Twitter, man, it was just the day that kept on giving when he launched the Super Heavy. Was also the day that he took away all the check marks from the legacy. All those people that think too much of themselves, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was such a good day.
Very much so. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, I sent you an email the other day, by the way, to advance a little bit our plans to eventually have some kind of big talk about life, the universe, and everything.
Okay.
Cool. But that's for another time. I'm just letting you know that I've done it. So, because you always give me grief, you always busted my balls about never when are we going to have this chat dance? When no, it will happen eventually. I'm just slow to get stuff done.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I'm honestly about a week behind getting back to each other. I woke up and my phone just died, and so it took me like 2.5 days to get a damn phone, and now I'm
Yeah,
so...
I kind of heard you cussing that phone on one of your streams because you were going to do something, but you needed a phone to do it, and you were like,
oh, that was my roughest stream ever. I was so pissed. That was not a good day. Anytime you gotta go spend $500 on a phone and weren't looking forward to it, like, that sucks. But yeah, we went so far off the rails. Thanks, buddy.
That's what I do. To be honest, I'm surprised you invite me on. or let me on, rather. I kind of invited myself.
Well, normally Impish is yelling at me, so she's not. So I think that we're probably still okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got to fill time until the actual launch, so so it's all good.
Yeah. So again, back to this, it's not a long process. It's generally pretty quick that that you get to space. People think it's so far away. No, it's about 3 minutes away. About 3 minutes. Which is weird. The time that it takes me to drive to the grocery store, I could also be in space. So, but I don't know if I'm able to go that fast to get to space in my car. Could try though.
Yeah, it was about 25 miles that the Falcon Heavy got to. So the Super Heavy, sorry. Is that right? About 25 miles up before they had to hit the button. Yeah. It's pretty impressive considering like anything above the tower would have been a win,
right?
Just to see if they could do it. Because is it the first time they've really tried to lift it like 120 tons for the Starship on top?
Yeah. The whole program is just unbelievably impressive. It really is. So, I mean, the fact that this big ass water tower with millions of pounds of thrust is just takes off and stays together. It's just so incredible. Like, we're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and I absolutely love it. Love every second of it.
You just made me think of a physics question here.
Damn it! I'm still working on the last one,
What?
Dance.
Oh no. Yeah, no, just about rockets, like, because obviously it's the biggest rocket yet in terms of power. I was thinking,
Oh,
at what point does it become powerful enough to maybe start affecting the orbit of the Earth or the spin of the Earth or something? But I think it's going to be a lot
it's
more than that. But,
yeah, it's actually, it has a negligible impact. Actually, the Three Gorges Dam that they put in China
yeah, it
actually
slowed
slowed.
the spin very slightly, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that
so
actually,
minuscule. But
right. That actually did. It's probably close to 100 times the slowing that one of these rockets do. We're so small that anything we do is incredibly negligible. But yeah, it's something to think about. But we're very far away.
yeah, not something to worry about.
Yeah. Sea Dragon. I'm trying to remember the proposed Sea Dragon, which was pure insanity. Like, somebody had some good drugs that day. But I don't know if you've ever heard of the Sea Dragon rocket.
I heard you mention it the other day. You said they didn't do it in the end, but it was a plan for a really big one. Is that right?
Shit, I'm gonna have to do a Sea Dragon stream now. Anyways, I'll do a Sea Dragon at some point. But yeah, just massive rocket. It shook itself apart so much that they had to launch it from the water. That's why it was called a Sea Dragon. But it never got to fly. And that would have had an impact, but it would have been negligible to, like, we're not even taking milliseconds off days. So
Yeah, I guess, I mean, although these are such small, tiny amounts, I guess it's the knock-on effects that we don't know how would that affect anything to do with seismic stuff, tectonic plate movement. It's like, is there a butterfly effect? I mean, probably not. Don't worry, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But it just these kind of questions start going in my head when I learned, for example, about the Three Gorges Dam actually slowing the spin of the Earth. I was thinking, oh, hang on a minute.
yeah. No, I mean, and I think it's good that we explore all those things. I think there's much more of an impact on the tectonics and the geological features of our planet than there ever is in some physics of slowing the planet. Because they are, if not for the design and the deluge, the sound suppression, the sound alone at a launch pad would blow a rocket apart.
Yeah, it's the resonance and that's why they have those water things, isn't it? I forget what you call them, sound dampeners or
Deluge.
something. Sorry, deluge, yeah. And they're going to use that on this one, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So deluge is an integral part. It's hard to not use deluge. It's nearly impossible. So it's one of those things where it would literally blow the rocket apart. It would be, well, there's no question you would die from sound coming off the rocket if you were close enough. Whereas you could potentially survive the combustion, the sound would kill you. So instantly.
Yeah, there's a thing, isn't there, like a chart of how many decibels before you can start getting hearing damage, and then whatever, and then there's one where it just says death. Like, after a certain amount of decibels of sound, you just die. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me see. It's about decibel. NASA's measurements at the time captured the launch noise at 204 decibels. Anything between 120 and 160 decibels are considered dangerous to hearing if it dured longer than 30 seconds. And that 120 to 160 range is a jet airliner. So a little bit more than that. So even 3 miles away, it got to 136 decibels for Artemis. So 3 miles away.
Yeah, and it's still causing you damage to your ears at that 3 miles away. That's quite impressive.
Yeah. 235. I mean, there's a lot of it depends on obviously distance, but yeah, in that 230 range. So at a show, yeah, and it's worse than that. So, but it is incredible if you have the opportunity, which I have, to see a launch close. You can feel it. You can feel the shaking. You can hear it. You can. It's incredible. It's a full body experience, and if you ever get the opportunity, I highly suggest you do it. So,
yeah, I mean, like I say, the closest I've had is air shows, but also when I was a kid living in the on the RAF camp. It was particularly when the first Gulf War kicked off. Like there was a lot of tornadoes taken off, and you feel the shaking. In fact, when the teachers, because it was a school on the RAF camp itself, the teachers just had to stop teaching for a few seconds because it was too loud for us to hear what they were saying. So if they were mid sentence, they just had to stop and wait for it to go,
that's
the sound
crazy.
to dissipate, and then they start talking again.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I loved it. It was great.
And hi from my riding along. Well, that's probably loud too. Hopefully, you can hear me, Stingy. What's up, buddy? It's good to see you, though.
I love the avatar, just Alex Jones. Oh, sorry. Can I say that? Have I?
Oh
can I
yeah,
say that word? Yeah, you can say that now.
You're fine. I'm to the point where fuck Twitter or fuck YouTube.
Yeah,
Twitter, Georgia,
all of them.
yeah, one of them. Yeah, whatever. I'm just tired of censoring. It's getting so onerous just having to censor everything I say. So we're still looking good for we're still go at this point. There she is. There she is.
So we got 27 minutes. Yeah, okay. I think I'll stay up for that because I mean I am up working tomorrow, but it's somebody just put demonetized.
I had to be monetized first, baby. Speaking of, since I'm not monetized, if you want to support channel, I'm over on Rumble, and I am monetized on Rumble. You can send me a Rumble rant.
Yep, because Rumble doesn't suck, so you can give Mighty Meat Rumble rants straight away, right from as soon as you started, because Rumble doesn't suck.
Yeah, or you can become a member over on Rumble, and the creators get 100% of the membership monies for the entire year of 2023 to say thanks to new creators. So that's really cool of them over there. And that's $5 a month recurring, and it's a membership. It's Chinese Alex Johnson. So there's my terrible grift, since I'm horrible at it.
Yeah, and remember, for every membership or month of membership at the Mighty Meats channel, you are helping to fulfill his dream of getting his spacesuit.
That's very true. I haven't brought up a spacesuit in a while, but I want me a spacesuit. And I got the wife to allow me to get it if I fund it.
She's come around, huh?
Yeah. If I fund it myself, I can get it. But I can't use any of our, combined monies. Okay. So I wanted to. I think it's shit. Who's that?
I have to agree with Stingy here. It says Rumble doesn't suck, but the app does. Yeah, no, they've still got some issues to fix. Like
the Pineapple Man.
to our
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, hi, Kaiser. Hi, Kaiser. How you doing?
Hey,
Oh,
Vance.
Davel, I'll show you, man. Hang on. It's a custom spacesuit from not a sponsor, but the Space Store. I love the Space Store. I order a lot of shit from there.
Is there any other kind of space suit besides the custom one?
Yeah. Hang on.
Might you just give them his measurements, and they're like, "No, hang on, we're gonna have to put the price up here. This guy's too big."
It's already expensive enough, but it's so cool. There it is. It's not a furry. It's not a furry. So it's a custom spacesuit. It has space boots. Yeah, but it's $3,000. It's an Apollo A7L moon suit replica, and they custom make each one for you.
As a ginger man, I need one of those for the beach.
So, total out there question. You may have already answered this. I'm not entirely sure. So, is this just a replica, or is this actually functional? Finger quotes, functional.
It's definitely just a replica.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I wouldn't go to space in it, but
gotcha. It was one of those. I'm like, okay, so how much are we talking about, like here, like functionality wise? Obviously, not very much. Like, okay.
Yeah, I imagine you just go into like the local store in it just to get groceries and stuff.
Oh, I absolutely would, and I would stream that shit. So, yeah.
Carry a flag with you too.
Yeah, I know. All I got to do is throw up on stream, and from Brandon, I would get the money. Yeah.
Replace one of your patches there with the Mighty Meat logo.
Hell yeah.
And then you can place it in the store and go, "This is mine now. I own this."
You just need the Mighty Meat, logo like on an American flag. There you go.
Yep. Yep. So I want to play this before because we're starting to count down here. But so this is Viasat. This is information about. They're really freaking expensive. Actually, the SpaceX ones are reasonable, in the $40,000 ish. So, and those are functional. I would stream from anywhere, grocery stores. Like I would wear that thing all the time. But here's from Viasat.
Our mission is to connect the world. That's no small step. To do this, we're building something big.
Absolutely.
Very big. Introducing Viasat 3, the first ever terabit speed broadband satellite system, bringing incredibly fast internet to the world with a revolutionary ground network on a scale never before seen and the most sophisticated payloads ever built. Viasat 3 is the next big thing in space and one giant leap for connectivity.
All space programs have military applications, but they are not listed as a DoD contractor. Mostly commercial. Oh shit! I don't want to share that. I want to share this one. So this is another one, Road to Viasat. This one's about 2 minutes long. We'll watch this one as well.
We've seen Viasat 3 as something we've been envisioning for decades. We saw that people needed to be connected no matter where they were in the world.
When we started the company, one of the biggest things that motivated us is we weren't afraid to try something new.
A long time ago, we were designing an entirely different satellite, and we got a better idea of how to do broadband in a way that we could fundamentally change the system architecture to have a lot of flexibility and even more capacity than the satellite that we were going to build.
All engineers tend to be very conservative. So when I
Seriously.
told this back to my team, of course they said, "Are you kidding? You want us to do this?"
I think I did have a pretty good feeling of what we're starting when we realized we were onto something new and very different than what we were doing before, and that was the start of Viasat 3.
When you're dealing with invention, it's a whole different story. Viasat 3 involved the invention of a whole new set of elements to be able to achieve that capacity.
What we wanted was to invest in technology that can really scale. It's not just a new satellite design. It's a new way to build satellites.
Mark Dankberg.
And so
I
I
love
said
that
3
name.
has been a ride. And of course, we hit some bumps along the way. Part of what makes the job fun. We overcame them each as they happened, and we're looking forward to seeing the result.
At times it seemed impossible, but we, through the discipline, dedication, hard work of ISAT team, we managed to put the checkbox. It's done. We're ready to launch.
The road to Viasat 3 has been amazing. We're expecting to prove to the world that the things you can set your sights on and do are pretty cool.
I love the way they say that they're doing a new way of making a satellite, and then they're basically just sellotaping like tinfoil together.
Yeah. Well, that's basically what satellites are.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the AI's been looking at that, thinking, "Fantastic! This is going to make it so much easier for me to take over."
Well, I don't endorse or like any of the people that are sending up satellites. I just like watching the rockets go. So I've never had any dealings with them whatsoever, so I can't say. Has anybody else dealt with Viasat ever?
Nope.
I don't think they. Well, I've never heard of them in the UK. Are they, I guess, a US company?
I've never heard of them until today, honestly. Well, I've heard of them with other launches, but yeah. So here's we kind of went through this. This is where the second stage cuts off. So there's a couple orbital insertion burns. Viasat for marine use is extremely expensive. Okay. Huh. Okay. So what you see here, so at 8 minutes into flight, and actually even before that, so as soon as there's separation, you'll get engine start on the second stage. Holy shit. No way.
Oh, freaking Pete, man.
Wow.
How about no?
I'm good. So then you'll have that will burn for about 3.5 minutes, and then you'll cut off the second stage. And at then your azimuth will be a little bit higher, and it will start to drift down. So and then it will start drifting, and then at 29 minutes you'll get the actual orbital insertion burn. What's up, Scad267? Good to see you. You look like a new name. Absolutely. It never gets old. It's always so incredible.
I have never seen a rocket launch. The one time I almost did, they scrubbed it due to weather and never got to see it. But it was actually going to be a shuttle launch too. That was even worse. Yeah, I've always wanted to go watch one of these rockets lift.
Oh, it's incredible. There's nothing else like it. Like, it's unbelievable. So beautiful. What's up, Sleazy? Nothing yet, buddy. We're just counting down here.
Oh, wow.
SpaceX is starting momentarily, so we're in.
So they haven't even launched yet?
No. We're
awesome.
We're still we're
20
T
minutes?
minus 20. So
Hot damn! I thought I was going to be late.
nope. Absolutely.
Finally got back home and settled and got everything all taken care of. So now I am officially able to sit back and relax. I didn't think I was going to make the show in time.
Did you think you were going to be like Brian when he turned up just after the launch?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that. Poor
That was
guy.
hilarious. I was thinking, dude, there's a rewind button. Just go back. It's awesome.
Right.
Just best we could do for you, bud.
No, I replayed it. It was worth watching again.
I remember.
So we have a series of engine cutoffs and starts all the way up to 4 hours and 23-minute mark. That's because this is geosynchronous. So it's going to be way up there. So you can't just shoot up there and hope you land. They have to be very incremental burns, very well-timed burns. So Viasat will deploy at 4 hours and 32 minutes and 15 seconds plus flight. So it will be the first deployment. After that, we'll have GS1, and about 7 minutes after that, we'll have Astranus Micro Geo satellite. So there will be some things far into the night. Obviously, I'm not going to cover it that long, because there are literally 4.5 hours of nothing happening. But
4.5 hours of nothing, and we've got Sea of Thieves to play, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I've got 2 gold vault missions. I need some cronies to jump on my brand new ship.
Phone chat was not. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, I'm definitely here. So, gentlemen, would you mind talking for a second? Because I think Dan didn't hear me.
Absolutely.
I wanted to be on time to confuse people, so I didn't get a bio in. So,
Go right ahead, buddy. I got you covered there. So, actually, I did have some stuff I wanted to run by Dance there, if he's still available.
Yeah,
absolutely.
sure.
So, hey, so
I'll just play this in the background, but
okay,
for visual. I'll be right back.
Yep, sounds good. So I don't know if you got a chance to check out my stream from this past week, but I think it was definitely something up your alley. It was one of those I really thought would be something that I would want to chat with you about specifically.
Oh, is this the Miracle of Fatima thing?
Yeah.
I haven't caught that one yet because I'll be honest, I'm not as big on the whole kind of the Catholic stuff and visions of Mary and all that kind of stuff.
Well, neither am I. I approach it from a completely different perspective. I mean, truth be told, I kind of approached it from let me kind of, I've heard about this. Let's kind of parse it out. Let's dig into it, see if there's any meat to grab onto. Surprisingly, there was enough to kind of really jog my interest. I'll put it that way.
I guess I would look at it from a perspective of what was the overall message of what was happening. Is it something, does it even seem like something God would want to do, or does it sound like some kind of deceptive thing, or people just staring at the sun too long, or,
Right. So, yeah, based on what I could research and what I could find, I mean, my gut feeling is that, the actual data that we can actually prove from that day is that there were about anywhere between 30 to 50,000 people that witnessed this event in one day and at this prescribed time. So
that's quite quite impressive. It's not just like a couple of people saying they saw a thing.
Yeah. So apparently these kids started having these visions. They saw the supposedly the Virgin Mary, and then she told them gave them some information, some prophecies, told them about hey, God's not happy with the situation in the world. And then, yes, Devel, we're talking about Miracle of Fatima, which was covered on my show this past week. So go check that out when you get a chance. But it was interesting because there was enough. You had 3 of these children. Now, what's even more interesting is that supposedly they were given 3 prophecies. 2 of them came true very quickly, and 2 of the kids also died fairly suddenly. And the one that supposedly got this 3rd prophecy, she held on to it because she was afraid of what the Catholic Church would try to do if she spilled the beans. So it does leave a lot to interpretation, has a lot of questions there. Supposedly, finger quotes, the Catholic Church did release it in 2000, but so the main problem there is that the nun who this happened to as a child, she was basically censured and silenced by the Catholic Church. They basically told her to not talk about the event or anything like that. Father Malachi Martin who was actually a special investigator on the case and actually did verify a lot of the information surrounding it. He claimed that he was actually there with Sister Lucia when she wrote the third prophecy and looked it over, had it translated, and they kind of were like, wow, hey, this was all written on one sheet of paper. And then suddenly they release it in 2000 and it's 4 sheets of paper. Basically, it's very vague and essentially about, like, you know, Catholic persecution in the 20th century, which culminated in the attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II in 1981.
I was going to say, Jude is saying that the 2000 were fakes, apparently.
Yes. She was actually in the chat with me on that one.
I mean, I guess from my perspective, I don't see Mary as being any part of the Godhead at all. So
I would agree with that.
To me, she was just another human. That, you know, I mean, yes, the Immaculate Conception and the birth of the Messiah, Jesus, and all that kind of stuff. But after that, you know, she had a normal life. She had other kids. She, in my opinion, isn't part of the Godhead at all. So if anybody sees a vision of her, I'd be thinking, is it a deceiving spirit? Is this a demon appearing to you and pretending to be something else? I'm very wary of anything to do with, any of that kind of stuff, to be honest.
Right. It was an interesting topic, and as somebody who also kind of dabbles in that particular area and of understanding, I figured I definitely wanted to pick your brain about it, even if it was only for a short time.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I didn't actually see the video. And somebody in the chat was saying, was it, why not use the camera? You've done it before. I'll show you why. Because I'll look awful, because this is an old laptop in bad lighting, and it's nearly 20 past 1 in the morning, so I'm just trying to spare you my face, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I mean, I was driving for, you know, probably about a good 3 hours, like just drove up from where we were staying, had a very upset kid in the back seat most of the entire time, and it was a busy, long day, so I was just more or less trying to spare y'all my face.
Yeah, Jude says it looks like a tampon. I thought she was talking about me for a minute, but she's talking about the rocket.
No, she was talking about you. All right. Sorry, gents. I'm going to cut you off for a minute. God damn. Scad, I will take you up on that. I was just down there for Cruise 6. I try and make it. I'm in Michigan, Southeast Michigan. I know exactly where that's at. Because I go down there that often. I will absolutely take you up on that. I'll reach out next time I'm going to be down there. I think June is the next time I'm going to be down, unfortunately. But, 100%. So,
I would love to plan ahead so that way we could, like, both do a live stream and, like, cover a rocket launch live. Watch it, like, actually lift off.
Oh, it'd be so incredible. The problem with that is if you get too close, they suck up all the bandwidth for the rocket. So
yeah, I would definitely want to see if we could find a way to run a hard line on that one.
Demo 2, I was trying to get timing on my phone. Hey, what's up, Gosney?
Hey, it's Gosney. How you doing, buddy?
Let us know how it looks from the ground, buddy.
Florida man in the house.
I still have got to email him about the whole law cards thing, because he was asking me about it on Vice's show a couple weeks ago, and my brain just completely went out the window.
It happens. So we're at T-minus 6 minutes. Everything still looks good from launch control, all that good stuff. We are... engine chill is started, so that's a good. The next milestone is going to be flight computer command. So, it's Florida. You should be hanging out on the back porch. Go get some barbecue. You can watch it from there.
Oh, just while we've still got 6 minutes as well, did either of you see the little video I put together where I found some old footage of my mum from 1991? messing around with an SA-80 rifle.
No.
Did you not see that? Oh, it was a gem. It was like on VHS tape. It was because my dad was in the RAF. They had this one day where all the wives and girlfriends got together with the RAF regiment guys to like do pretend exercises, like going through the woods with the SA-80s.
Oh,
like,
nice.
and men pretended to run out and attack them, and it was hilarious. Because my mum would have absolutely obliterated the trees and the bushes in front of her, but not the dude that was attacking them. So I put together a little video about that. Actually, the first guy, she was kind of firing in his direction. The second guy, all she was doing was frightening the trees and blowing up the bushes. It was great. Yeah, thankfully they were just firing blanks, because they would have probably killed each other as well, firing into each other and things.
Well, those SA-80s, they had their own unique set of problems.
Yeah, they've had to modify them quite a bit because they would high tolerances on them, quite accurate, but they would jam up and stuff. So
broken firing pins, the whole 9 yards. Yeah,
don't worry, Greedy. It was just pretend.
Me too. That would be fantastic.
Saying that, they did fire some live rounds at the range thing, but that was a bit more controlled.
Yeah, just need to give her an M1 Garand to say that'll guarantee to work.
Bad idea, but Steve, this one's gonna be fully expendable, so you won't get the beautiful rockets coming back to land. So that's so cool when you can see that happen too. I wish they would launch more Falcon Heavies, and hopefully they do, but it's a good ratio.
I like it.
All right, I'm going to switch to SpaceX audio, and we'll listen in, and I'll comment if need be. So
copy that.
After this, the strongback will retract away from the vehicle, and this is to clear the way for ascent. Strongback is used to provide structural support as well as routing for fluids.
NY booster, LOX load complete.
As well as routing for fluids and power
LOX
to the
load
vehicle.
complete.
Does look like the Austin Powers thing, doesn't it?
Oh, I see something retracting.
So that's strongback coming down.
Okay.
So it
We just
pulls
had LOX
off,
loading finished up on the
and
PY
then
booster.
it's going to pull back a little bit more,
Next
and
up at
then
around
it will
T-minus
drop
2
as
minutes,
it's going
LOX
up.
loading will complete on the second stage. After LOX loading finishes loading
sorry.
onto the second stage, the entire vehicle
They
will
pay
be
me $5
completely
a
full
time.
with
I-
2.8 million pounds of
That's
propellant.
most of my income.
Center core, LOX load is complete.
Oh, hey,
Steering
DFL. Let's say
the various boosters. finish
we
up with LOX
are a
loading.
really nice crowd. We're a great bunch of guys. We like to hang out, have a good time. So, let's everybody drop your links, and yeah, we would be happy to have you there, DFL.
Steve, you don't want to say that just in case that bit breaks, and then your brother will be blamed. You might want to keep
Looks
that
like
to
quite a
yourself.
nice day down there in
Well,
Cape
it's a
Canaveral.
successful launch.
Weather is
I
much
want
more
to talk to
cooperative for
Steve's
this
brother,
attempt today.
but yeah, that's. We'll leave that alone. We only have 2 minutes. I almost did one time, but then he didn't want to come on.
Now again, in just about 15 seconds, we will be completing LOX
We got
loading
2
on the
minutes.
second stage, which will wrap up the propellant loading phase of our countdown.
So that puffy part is the liquid oxygen. So not the same puffies that we see with Starship, but
Second stage, LOX load is complete.
we can see some
And
good
there it is.
puffies
Falcon
going
Heavy is now fully loaded with 2.8 million pounds of propellant. Coming up next, we should see some white clouds venting from the TE LOX line. This is completely normal and part of our closeout process. Following this, the vehicle will enter startup at T-minus 1 minute. This is
So
when
they
the
hand it
onboard
off to
flight
the
computers
computer?
take control of the
Oh, he's gonna
countdown.
explain it. Hey. I don't know. Do you want me to explain it or him? I don't care.
And shortly after the vehicle enters the startup phase, our LD or launch director should give the final go for launch. Let's listen in for those callouts.
That's what I said, Greedy. It's not the same puffy. Whatever intends to catch the fairings by night. So they still try and catch some of the fairings, but the cost effectiveness and the replacement of the parts in the fairings,
Probably negates
Falcon Heavy is in startup.
yeah.
It's just not worth it.
There we go. Falcon Heavy has
No.
just entered the startup
Entered
phase.
startup, so Falcon Heavy has control of the count. The onboard computers are controlling it from here. The only opportunity they have is
And with confirmation of go for launch from our launch
So that's where we got cut off.
Falcon Heavy
last night.
is ready to go to space
I didn't
at
cover it,
T-minus
but,
37 seconds with the Viasat 3 mission.
But yeah, so they're go for launch. Everything looks good. Just hope that it lights up. But yeah, now the spacecraft is actually controlling everything. They can still give an abort, but other than that, it's all down to the spacecraft.
15 seconds.
15 seconds, and we'll just quiet until it clears.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Go SpaceX,
1.
go Falcon 9.
Engines full power. And liftoff of Viasat 3. Go Viasat, go Falcon
Hell
Heavy.
yeah.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. MOD chamber pressure is nominal.
Really need Magic Carpet Ride playing here by Steppenwolf. I like it to dream. Okay, sorry.
We are 30 seconds into flight under the power of 5 million pounds of thrust. Falcon Heavy is headed to space. Now we are throttling down our engines on those side boosters, and that's in preparation for max Q.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Max
Maximum
Q is
aerodynamic
the moment
pressures.
of peak mechanical
Falcon
stress.
Heavy is supersonic.
Peak mechanical stress on the vehicle. So we do slow down the vehicle to get through this period of high stress. And once we pass through max Q, we will throttle those engines back up on those side boosters.
Max Q.
So we're 1 minute in and already going
Great
1,300
call out. We
kilometers
have
per
passed
hour.
through max Q. So we're going to throttle up those engines again on these side boosters.
God, that plume.
You can follow along the
Gorgeous, isn't
telemetry
it?
on your left hand, on the bottom left hand of your screen. You can see the speed and the altitude of the vehicle. And some incredible views of Falcon Heavy in flight.
Absolutely, Linda.
Now, 2 minutes into flight, we will reduce the thrust on the two side boosters again, and that will be to decrease the forces on the vehicle structure. And that's because the vehicle is now lighter as we're burning through the fuel on the vehicle, but the thrust will remain constant. And wow, that looks amazing on the screen. All three boosters burning bright there.
Eager to see
Falcon Heavy is
the
following a nominal
shipboard camera.
trajectory.
And good
We'll
call
have
out
one.
on
Fully
trajectory.
expendable, so they're not landing any of the boosters.
Now again,
They're
we're
all
going to
gonna
throttle
dump
down
in the
the
ocean.
side boosters, and then the
bummer.
next event coming up in about a minute or just under a minute will be BECO. That's booster engine cutoff. That's where we will shut down the engines on the side boosters, and then we will separate the side boosters from the center core. And as a reminder, we are not landing our side boosters or center core today
There
due
we
to
are.
performance needed on today's mission. And you can see on your right-hand screen, we do have a view of the separation mechanisms from the center core to the side boosters.
Because it's a really heavy payload, and it's going to be going to geosync, so they have to ensure
And
that they have
BECO, or
enough power
booster
to get
engine
there.
cutoff, is coming up
They
here
don't have enough for the
in
landing
a few
birds.
seconds.
MVAC engine chill has started.
So now they're chilling that second stage engine because the main will only burn for about 30 seconds.
Booster engine cutoff.
Side booster
There it
separation
goes.
confirmed.
Seps.
Both side boosters, FTS is safed.
God, that is
Great
such a gorgeous
views
sight.
there. We had BECO, booster engine cutoff.
So
and
flight
we watched
termination
as
safe,
those
so it's
side
high enough up
boosters,
to not
and you could
be
see them there on your
damaging.
screen, those side
So
boosters falling
the
away.
Following a nominal trajectory.
Falling
Flight
away from
termination
Falcon
system
Heavy's
has
center
been turned
core.
off, essentially.
Nice.
Awesome views. That's going to wrap it up for the side boosters today. The next event coming up here in about 30 seconds or so is main engine cutoff. That is also called MECO, and that will be on the center core, followed by stage separation and then the startup of our second stage engine.
It almost looks like a CGI effect or something like that. It's like hard to believe that that's real.
It's hard to put it into words until you're there and you see it in person. Like, that's just burn off. That's just the liquids,
Main engine cut off.
There we go.
So
Stage
Miko,
separation
stage
confirmed.
up.
Stage 1 FTS has safed.
Beautiful launch.
Look at that.
MVAC ignition.
There's the MVAC. So it's a vacuum optimized engine because there's no oxygen in
Acquisition signal
space,
for Mita.
so they have to
And
burn
we
it
got some
in
great
a
views. We
closed
watched
environment.
Miko as
That's
the
essentially what
engines
that,
on the center core
that
shut
inflated
down,
bag
stage
is
separation,
for.
and now you can see
to
on your
trap the
screen that the
gases so that
MVAC
they actually
engine
burn
has
them.
ignited. Now we are coming up on fairing separation.
So now we see the fairing sep.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Beautiful.
And also we're able to see and hear the call out that,
Stage 2 is following a nominal trajectory.
that the fairing halves have separated. They are now falling back down to Earth, and we will attempt to recover them using our recovery vessel,
Oh,
Doug.
they are recovering them now.
Nice.
To answer your question, Steve, I guess they're recovering the fairings.
She said attempt, to be fair.
Well, yeah.
There's always
What
room
you're
for
looking at
error
on
in
your
this.
screen is a view
Oh, yeah.
on our second stage, looking at
So
our
the
MVAC
fairings,
engine.
they literally drive a
And
boat
our MVAC
with
engine on the second stage is currently in the middle of its first
and
burn.
they just try and get underneath and
This
catch it.
burn has about a minute and a half left. After that, we'll have an additional 2 burns of our second stage engine before payload deployment.
Yeah, maybe.
No, Steve, for the fairings. There's no way you're going to catch the booster. Good grief, they're huge.
Oh, I thought he meant the other way. Like she said booster and meant
On your
fairing.
left-hand
Either way.
screen, you could see a map.
Oh, wow.
The
of
boosters are
mission
expendable.
trajectory.
The fairings, I guess they're going to try and
And on
catch.
the right-hand screen is a live view of the MVAC engine.
So that's
See
the
the-
trajectory. That's where they're at right now.
As a reminder, our main payload for
God, the sight
today's
of that,
continues to follow a nominal
that
trajectory.
kind of
call-outs.
call
Our main
or that
payload
side
for
that
today's
side of
mission
the horizon.
is Viasat 3, and we do have 2 secondary payloads on board as well from Gravity and Astronis. That is the Gravity Space 1 and Astronis's
So our altitude is
micro-geo satellite.
on a normal orbital insertion. Your altitude
just
would
now
go
joining us,
higher
we're
than you
currently
need to
in the
be,
middle
and
of
your speed
the
would
first
go
of 3 burns for this
a little bit
MVAC engine
faster,
today.
because then you're
The
gonna
next
settle
event coming
into
up
your
is in
into your
just under
orbital
a minute and
trajectory with your
15
burns.
seconds.
This one's going
We
G
will
in
have
sync, so it's going to be
1,
a
or
little
what we
bit
call
different.
second engine
But
cutoff
right now
1.
we're going up
And that will
about
end the
22,000
first
kilometers
of those
per
3
hour.
burns.
So
Today's mission marks SpaceX's 28th launch this year, 227th overall mission to date, and our 5th operational Falcon Heavy mission.
And hitting the dome in 3, 2, 1.
oh, they already hit the firmament. That's why they're going, east at this point instead of up. See the altitude? It hasn't raised.
Stage 2 FTS has safed.
Now on your right-hand screen, you can see the MVAC engine,
Stage 2 has entered terminal guidance.
and we're
Yeah,
getting
still
good,
speeding up.
good call-outs there. On the bottom right-hand of your screen, you can see the speed of the second stage as well as the altitude. And we are about 20 seconds or so from SECO 1. That's where we will shut down this MVAC engine and allow the vehicle to coast with the payloads on board.
Expected loss of signal.
We'll get to about 26,500, 27,000 kilometers per hour, excuse me. Maybe a little bit faster. And then we'll cut it.
That level of speed just boggles the mind.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, see 26.6. So
And you could see that MVAC engine beginning to shut down. We did hear a call out for expected loss of signal.
Nominal parking orbit.
fantastic.
And we got confirmation of good orbit. So with confirmation of second engine cutoff and a good orbit, we'll be heading into a coast phase until our second relight of our MVAC engine around the T plus 30-minute mark. We'll come back to bring you live coverage of that second burn in about 20 minutes. So until then, sit back and enjoy the space tunes.
when she talked that last bit there, it was almost like the thing that they tell you on a flight. You know, we're now at cruising altitude. Sit
Right.
back, Phil. We're gonna bring your drinks out. That was awesome. Yeah.
Amazing. I've never seen such a bright night launch with such a low trajectory. It was incredibly bizarre. Yeah, and that's it going to geosync. So it's not going as up as it would like to, or as it would in a general launch, because you're going to have to raise that trajectory so far. So it's going to keep going further and further out. Yeah. Good night, Steve. Good to see you, buddy. Hope
Hey,
you're
have a
well.
good night, Steve.
Cheers, Steve. Yeah.
Take care, bud.
It's going to continue to go further out until it gets in its orbit. So it's different. We're looking more for the speed than we are getting there. And part of the reason why it was expendable, because we had to pick up that speed, get it into a parking orbit, and get it to where it needed to be. So beautiful launch.
Yeah, I say that is the definition of a textbook launch, I would say, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's just amazing that we do it with such precision at this point.
Boring regularity, one might say.
Hey, no worries. I try really hard. So it doesn't always work that way, but I try as much as I can. So yeah. Like I said, I wasn't gonna. I mean, it's gonna be nominal. Like, everything went well. We'll see another 30-second burn if we waited another half an hour, but it's up to you, gentlemen. If you want to, I know you probably want to get going, dance, but
Yeah, in a minute. It's coming up for 20 to 2 in the morning here. I was just gonna say it's amazing, all of this technology and all of this effort and amazing stuff, just so that people can watch their cats do funny things whilst they're in the middle of the desert or something. On the internet. It's effectively what it's for, isn't it? Just you can do
Just
the internet
about.
anyway. Yeah.
Well, we're glad you stayed up to hang with us there, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
well,
sure.
it was a nice surprise, because usually, I can't sort of stay up this late every night when you guys are streaming. But I noticed Mighty was on at about just after midnight, and I thought, well, I can do that. That's fine.
Nice.
Yeah. I haven't spoken to you guys for a while, so it's nice. Yeah, I'll go get some sleep. I will bow out of the stream, but thank you very much for having me on, and cheers to the chats, guys. It's been good fun. So.
Cheers,
right,
buddy. You have a great night.
Take care.
All right.
Thanks for coming
Bye,
on.
all. Bye.
I'm. It's stupid o'clock. Hard reference. I'm sorry. Like, it was better, and then everybody has to change times, and it's weird. But in all reality, I'm probably not going to stay on for the next. I don't know. Let me look at when the timing is. Maybe we can. The problem is that it was so nominal that not much is going to happen. It's a quick firing. So it fires for 34 seconds. So at T plus 2942. So where are we at? So 17 minutes. I could talk for 17 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so there are different ones that happen at different times. Like space is not predictable. It tells us when we get to launch, not the other way around. So
yeah, space weather is a thing.
Dad, they're calling you out. I'm working through it right now, dude. All right, we'll stay till the next firing to make sure it's nominal. I'll explain a little bit more. We'll go through a little bit more.
Okay.
Because it's only 15 minutes away, and that will take us to around 2 hours. Which is where I prefer my stream. So, yes, I will stay for like another 20, 30 minutes. So what we're coming up on here, so we had a successful second stage engine cutoff, SECO 1. stage engine starts, or SES2, at 2942. And I did my math terribly, so it's actually minute and 54 seconds. I was looking at the wrong cheat sheet. So then we'll have that second stage engine cutoff, or CCO 2. And then there's about 3.5 hours till we get to our next event. So I'm definitely not staying that long. I don't even think SpaceX will.
Yep. Well, I've got a little time to burn tonight, that's for sure, because apparently I'm not working tomorrow.
Oh, you still have the
yeah, I don't
water
think
problem?
I think if we're gonna kill some time, I think I could tell that story because it's funny as hell. See, not much to it, but so chat, you guys are gonna love this story. This is hilarious.
Let me explain this to him real quick.
Oh yeah, right. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't ever ask an engineer what nominal is.
That's true.
To make the best possible situation that you can have with what you're building or your project. A lot of people on the side of where normal speak and nerd speak, that's what I call it, and I happen to speak both languages. We'll call it normal.
Normal, I like that.
Because it's the normal way that it should go. It's the best possible outcome, or the most reasonable outcome for the situation. So that's the easiest way to find nominal. But yeah, if you're talking to a straight engineer that only speaks nerd, you'll never hear the end of it. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. But go ahead, buddy.
So yeah, so the funny story about this. So I ended up been planning all this past week to go down to southern half of the state, so that way we can go visit with my my son's birth parents. To say, as I've told folks before, my son's adopted, and we have a great relationship with his birth parents. They're great kids. It's just at the time they weren't ready for a kid, and they were happy that we were actually accepting of the fact that they still wanted to be a part of his life. And they actually, so my kid gets to grow up with 4 parents. So that's cool. He's got like double the parents in his corner. But anyway, so we've been planning this trip to go for probably a couple months now. And then I had to take Friday completely off work. And so I left work on Thursday. Well, actually, I didn't even went to go to the office on Thursday because I worked from home because I had the insurance thing. So I hadn't even been to the office since Wednesday. So I get this text message after we get to our Airbnb on Saturday, and I'm like, okay, why is my boss texting me on a Saturday morning, no less? Well, I start looking and I see pictures of my office, and our little tiny office, their pipe burst in the ceiling and flooded the entire office. There's like 3 inches of standing water, like everywhere. It's like, oh my God. Worse yet, the pipe burst right over my desk. So, yeah, I guess that our part-timer lady that works there, apparently, I think she was actually there when it happened, and she was able to grab my electronics and get them off of the desk before things went completely tits up. Shinny, it was clean water, from what I understand. It was a pipe that went to the fire suppression system, from what I understand. So it was totally fine. But so yeah, she was able to grab my computer, get it all moved out of the way, and anything that was potentially able to be damaged was moved, taken care of. All was well. But yeah, we had water just everywhere. So my boss, God bless her, spent the entire weekend working between corporate, which our corporate office is in Texas, and we're halfway across the country from them. So, yeah, working with corporate and the insurance company for our office, and also working with the restoration company to get everything scheduled and whatnot. So things are being dried out, and it's going forward. It's fine, but I got the word that yeah, hey guys, we're probably not going to be working. He's like, we're actually not going to work tomorrow. Office is going to be closed for obvious reasons while they're still drying it out, and tentatively we're going to try to get it back on Tuesday, but bring clothes that you can work in on Tuesday, because we might need your help actually clearing stuff up and moving files and stuff. Like, oh god,
that sucks.
But it's one of those. I mean, it could have been far worse than it was. I mean, if anything, it's just going to set us back a week. But it was one of those. I'm like, oh, that is definitely not how I expected things to go. So,
yeah.
Yep. Tomorrow I get to basically sit and screw around on the clock.
Greedy. Because I was trying to show you while he was talking, but didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, you're good.
You wouldn't see it. You're way up here, and it's over Africa right now. So you wouldn't have seen it. That's a long way. Base. That's what I'm going to do after my meeting. Oh, I knew there was more. There's more coming. So I wanted to show you guys this. I follow many of the photographers that, yeah, hopefully.
I think she was able to actually get my computer moved away before any water got to it. So
oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think that it burst, and she was able to get my computer disconnected and get everything moved before the main gush happened. So yeah, I got pictures of my desk is completely cleared off, and I'm like, oh my god, my desk, all my stuff, what the hell?
Yeah, shame to lose all those write-ups in the flood.
I work in insurance claims, so that makes it even more interesting. Oh, gee, sorry, your claim got lost in the shuffle. So sad that it didn't get paid on time, but there you go.
Or ever. We just made money. So I couldn't chat. I was watching Mom making chili. Hey, no worries. Hope it's good chili. Now I'm hungry. So I follow a bunch of the photographers on Twitter, and they get their stuff up pretty quick. I'm pretty surprised, but just look at that. Just beautiful. That's a time lapse of the shot from a lake.
So cool.
So, just some beautiful work from some of these people. This is Trevor Mahan. Mailman. That's his
Malman.
Malman. There you go. There you go. So if you are interested, you can go check them out. But yeah, so we're coming up about 6 minutes until we hit that second. As we can see, we're still kind of going in that southeast direction. And this is actually the orbital track that we're gonna go to next. So this is the next loop essentially. And that's based on telemetry and data and all the models and predictions and all that good stuff. So we'll start seeing that kind of move around to the place. It's hard to see elevation from this one, but we're essentially it's essentially the first orbital insertion. So we're in a parking orbit where until we do something different, it's not going to change it. And just as I say that, did they fire? Something happened. You see the telemetry jump?
Yeah, I noticed that it was like 12 minutes and then suddenly it's 24.
Well, not even that. Did you? I wonder if it was just if they just had a radio blackout or something like that. Because now we're at 170 kilometers, so we went 8 kilometers up, and speed hasn't changed. So either there was a bug in the telemetry or there was some kind of radio blackout. Because it shouldn't have raised orbit yet. Until we get to, again, probably sure it's nominal, but
sometimes things happen.
Yeah, I mean, it could have just been a data set that was incorrect, and you reassess it, shut it down, and hit the restart button, and it jumps up and gives you new data. So, but that was odd. That's not generally how it happens. 29:42. So we're about 4.5 minutes out from second engine. In 23 years, I had 9 hurricanes or tropical storms, causing us to evacuate each time. So much flooding once we had to use canoes to get to the corner convenience store. I will overnight my hip boots to you. Yeah, Florida's that's the one downside about Florida is those hurricanes. They come in and especially the coast, just batter the coasts. So Shut up, Greedy. You know that's not true. This is CGI, but the original wasn't. So hey, I know this is a duck up. Oh. So as far as headphones, I use I had them way before, so I have Beats. I really like my Beats by Dre. But as far as mic, I have what the hell do I have? I have a Yeti mic, and I really enjoy it. It's not terribly expensive, but it does everything I need to, and I enjoy the sound quality. I think your mixer and your sound, like for example, I use Steel GG, Steel Series GG to mix my audio, and I find that the audio mixer was far more important than the hardware ever was.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you like what mixer you use because your sound. I have the same mic. I have the Blue Yeti.
Yeah.
And yeah, your sound quality is way better than mine.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. Yeah, I'll send you something. So
okay, cool.
But I love Steel. Like it's been great, and you can mix in games and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
Yeah. So game, you can chat, media, auxiliary, and mic. So you can mix everything in. You can mix the sound, you can set different parameters and stuff like that. So
fantastic. I just want to make sure that I just need to make sure that the velvety sounds of my voice come piped in just right.
All right, I'm going to cut you off again. We're back. Oh,
you're good.
They're still not back. They were showing views.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's always been my thing. Is it's much more important to have the back end software than the actual physical hardware. So. Hail is wrong. It's terrible. I saw in Texas they were having like grapefruit-sized hail the other day.
Yeah, we had pea-sized hail today in southern Indiana.
Oh, really?
Welcome back to our coverage of the Viasat-3
Okay,
America's
here we go.
mission. If you're just joining us, we did have an on-time liftoff at 8:26 p.m. Eastern Time
There's
from
the
Kennedy
ice
Space
coming
Center's
off the-
Launch Complex 39A. Due to the performance requirements on this mission, we did not recover the side boosters or the center core, but our second stage is well on its way. Coming up next is the second of 3 total burns that the
Yeah, no
second
worries,
stage
Devo.
needs to execute before payload deployment. Now, for this next burn, we might lose ground station coverage, partly through the burn. So while we may not be able to confirm SECO-2 or good orbit immediately after, our team on console will be able to confirm this when we acquire signal from the next ground station. Now, this burn should last just about 2 minutes and starting any second now.
Look at all that ice.
Yeah.
It's condensation ice from turbopumps. There we go. We got a good start up.
So wild how it just heats up like that.
Yep. You lie,
As
Greedy.
you can
I've
see on your
heard your
screen, we did
voice.
just
I've
start
heard you
up the
sing.
second engine for the second burn.
I mean, you're still British, but it's a beautiful voice
The purpose
nonetheless.
of this burn is to take us from
Whoa,
a
whoa,
parking
whoa.
orbit in low Earth orbit and extend our
it's cool, man.
apogee or peak
2
of the
minutes and
orbit
4
to an
seconds
altitude of
is what
about
we're gonna
30,000 kilometers.
So now we're burning against much less drag, much less, forces, I guess. Damn, that sucks, Devel.
The next burn after this,
Oof,
the third burn,
wow.
will take the lower side of that
Did it
orbit
do a bunch of
orbit and
damage,
also
or?
extend it out to about
I would
30,000
imagine so.
kilometers.
Grapefruit
I would
That will
think
put
so
us in a
too.
geostationary orbit.
That's good.
Oh, good.
Now, what's special about a geostationary orbit is it takes roughly 24 hours for a satellite in this orbit to complete one full orbit around the Earth.
Expected loss of signal, goodbye.
Yeah, I'll send you steel as well. I don't remember where the hell I got it, but I'll
Now,
send
as
it
I
to you.
mentioned earlier, it
Steel
does look like we
Series
have lost
GG?
ground station
Steel
coverage.
Series GG sonar. Yep.
So once we regain signal at the
Okay,
next
yeah, I
ground
found it
station,
on,
we
uh,
should hear a call
I
out for
found it online.
SECO-2, and that stage 2 is in a good orbit.
It's
Now, as
it's
far as live coverage
fantastic.
for our
Like
third
I've
and
tried
final burn,
like
that will
30
occur
of them,
in a
and I
couple
love
of
this
hours
one.
from now at the T plus 4 hour and 22 minute mark. I hope you all stick with us, and we will see you then.
So yeah, they aren't even going to cover cutoff. So if anybody wants to, SpaceX will have their stream up for the next 4 hours listening to this music and watching the trajectory. I, however, am not. I'm going to go play Pirates.
Sounds good to me. I'm down for that.
So everything looks nominal. It looks great. We're going about 30,000 kilometers per hour, which is insanely fast. Okay, here we go. Now the telemetry is picking up. So 35,000, which is insanely fast. And it's just going to slowly raise altitude. I believe we said 30,000 kilometers is where they're going to end up. So if we could spin the globe and see the trajectory, you'd see it kind of just going way out. Our next burn would be to raise the opposite side and stabilize that orbit. So now we're transferring. Jude, I'm gonna do pirate game, but I'm gonna do it over on Discord. So in the arcade section. But yeah, so it will keep climbing. Once they get to the other side, they'll raise the other side of the orbit, make it I don't know what their orbital inclination is. Greedy. I drilled a hole so they could get through. I know you're trolling me, brother, but it doesn't make it any better. So yeah, it will start bleeding speed. It will start raising that orbit because the further we get away from Earth, the lower the speed is. And then it will be synced with that spot on Earth. So it will be synced with the rotational value of the Earth, which I didn't bother doing the math, so I don't know where it's at. But yeah, we'll just keep gaining altitude. They'll equal that eccentricity, and then it will be in a nominal orbit. And they do that in about 4 hours. So thank you all so very much for joining me this evening. Thank you so very much for hanging out, and thanks to my guests. Go check them out. Kaiser Pineapple. He's doing great things with Edge of Reality and movie reviews and that kind of thing. And then our other guest, Dance Biker Dance. Great guy, fantastic guy. So go check him out as well. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for me. So you got anything to add, Kaiser, quick? Or... Kaiser just DC'd, and I don't know if he did it intentionally. So I'm going to go ahead and log off. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. And if you like these, let me know. I'll keep doing them because I love watching them. So, all right, y'all. Have a great night. See you soon. Bye-bye.